My name is Charlie Haffey, and this is a quick look on the construction of an answer key. In front of us, we have the working copy of the test data that we created previously. And our next step is to put in an answer key. So I am going to just come down here, and this is very arbitrary on my part. And right here, I'm going to put in our really important piece of information is the count. I want to know how many students are taking this test. And in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a count formula. So equals count. And I want to do count A, and it's going to just count the number of values. So I'll start down here in H21 and go up to H2 and hit enter and 20. That makes sense because I knew that from before. It's just a good check. I'm going to click on these two here, and I'm going to just put a border around them just for fun. All right, so there we go with that. And here I'm going to put in a question. And come back up to the question row. I'm going to highlight this entire row here, 1 through 20. I'm going to copy it. And right here, I'm going to paste it. And it's going to paste with all the formatting. I want this. This is good. So question 1, 2, 3, and everything's lined up perfectly. Down here, what I need to do is I need to enter the correct responses for each of these questions. So rather than have you watch me stumble along at my 14 words per minute, just give me a second. I'm going to enter them and come right back. That wasn't so bad. So now I have my questions by number and the answer to those questions stacked up nice and neatly. So here for question number 1, the correct response was B. Here, I'm going to write down how many students selected B. I want to know how many students chose the correct answer. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do another count function. Okay. So here's equal to count if. So count if is a conditional count. So what I want to do is I want to count if this range here for the first question, if that equals this value B. And I find out that 17 students answered this correctly. And for one of the requirements for the course is that you have to be able to calculate this on a spreadsheet, the number of correct responses. There's also a requirement that you have to calculate the percent correct. So I'm going to show you how to do both in one move, and it would satisfy both of those requirements. So here I have 17, and if you look up here, it's the count if H2 to H21, and does that equal to the value in H25? So now what I'm going to do is very simply is then divide that value by the count. And that means that 85% or 85 hundredths, and I personally like to leave it in decimal formation. If you start putting it, I find that if I start putting things in percent, is it really percent? Is it formatted as percent? I like it this way. Do what you like. So if we look at this formula, though, let's just copy it over one cell. And I'm going to get this like, oh, you messed up. So if I go back here to this cell here, this value, F24, I've highlighted that and it shows that that's the number. What I have to do is to make sure that this is an absolute value. No matter where the formulas go on the sheet, it wants to look at that one specific cell. So I'm going to use my function key, F4, and F4, there we go. And now you can see that $F, $24, that means that this reference is locked. And let's just try it out. So if I come over here, okay, that's got it. Now again, this is going to allow you to get credit for calculating the number and the percent. So let me just drag this across all the way here. Not bad. And because the decimals either have 0, 1, or 2 places, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to set this increase and decrease. So now all the decimals go to 2 decimal places, right? And if you wanted to, I do, I'm going to highlight all this. I'm going to put that in a grid and make sure that everything is centered. And now I have an answer key for each of the questions in my test.